Hello, this is the One Episode Rule podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. Did some anime related stuff in a minute, but I'll let
Whoa.
JoJo introduce himself.
Hi, I am JoJo. Um, well, I go by Joey. Well, that's my real name. Some people call me Jo. This is a mess. I didn't watch
Hmm.
any anime this week. Um, why don't you talk about your thing?
Okay, I read all of Junji Ito's manga Tomie,
Yeah.
and I have some thoughts about Tomie. So it's very interesting because previously I had read Gyo and Uzumaki. And Gyo and Uzumaki both have the undertones of cosmic horror. I've talked about this before. I think
Mm-hmm.
Junji Ito was great at cosmic horror because he
Mm-hmm.
grasped things about it that other authors who were trying to do it did not. Um, the world is over in Gyo by the end of the
Yeah.
story.
Right.
And in Uzumaki, that town's fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because Tomie is much more personal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could do a stupid fucking video essay and you could just title it Tomie colon the horror of love
Interesting.
because it feels like a young Junji Ito was very afraid of attractive women and he did a damn good job of explaining why
Uh-huh.
in a way that does not really come off as misogynistic,
Right.
which is pretty cool. There's also sort of a sideline I feel like of this dude going enough horror about men.
This one's about a girl.
um, no, because like his usual format, each chapter is like a vignette,
Yeah.
and almost every one of them is a horror about women's relationship to the world in a different
Yeah.
way. So
Right.
one time she's like some like little kid's mom figure,
Mm-hmm.
in like a fucked up way, and then another time she's a baby, and then another time she's an adopted daughter. She's
Yeah.
always somebody's girlfriend. I
Mm-hmm.
do, I think the only thing she wasn't was somebody's wife.
Right.
Ever.
No one ever got that far with Tomie.
She was an artist's model. She was
Mm-hmm.
the only thing she wasn't ever was a supermodel because she's terrified of photography.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Tomie, read it. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, sounds good.
I especially like the fact that the ending is not really an ending, and you're just sort of left with the feeling is just like, oh,
Oh, she's
Tomie
still
is
out
just
there.
out there in the world forever, presumably.
You could meet her one day. Watch out.
um, so yeah, that's my crude review of Tomie that I did. I intended to make notes and then I just didn't. So
You're enjoying the book. It's fine.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you want some news?
Yeah, let's have some
I
news.
know a little bit of news. Let's hit some obvious ones. Steel Ball Run. It's
Yes.
real.
Let's go. I'm so
It's
excited.
coming.
All right. I'm so
Tell him
hyped.
to eat shit, Johnny.
Fall off your horse.
Eat shit. Fall off your horse.
Oh man, that's gonna be awesome.
News that is something we may not have already heard. Um, Crunchyroll CEO Rahul Parini says the company has no plans to use artificial intelligence in the creative side of the business, including in voice acting. This is something of a reversal, actually, because a year ago or so they said that they were focusing on using AI to quickly generate subtitles,
Yeah, and I
and
remember no one liked it.
he is backing off of that now with phrasing that doesn't really want to admit wrongdoing, but he says we noted that dubbing required creative adaptation and regional nuance, something which AI tools are currently not capable of replicating effectively.
No shit.
Could it be that everybody got really pissed off at you?
Yeah, no kidding, buddy.
Well, whatever. It's still a good story, and in the subtext angle of bullying works.
Yes.
Um,
We gotta keep it up.
okay, what else have we got? Oh yeah, Blizzard Entertainment reveals Diablo X Berserk crossover event. Fuck you, die, go to hell. I spit on you. Take Diablo
Wow.
4 and get out.
Not
I
a
can't
fan,
believe
huh?
you fucking done this. Anyway, next news item.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you alerted me to this.
Yeah, this one
Netflix
was
has
crazy.
announced Bet, a live action series adaptation of the horniest manga I've ever heard of, Kakagurui.
You know what's fucked up about that is they already have live action Kakaguri.
They already did that?
They already did that. This is another one.
This is a
And
primary and English language production from what I can tell. So
yes, and I have it on good authority from the crazy Kakaguri fans in another
Mhm.
chat that I'm in. It's bad.
It's bad. This I'm looking at this and I'm thinking it may not be bad, but my real thought is that listen, I've seen part of that anime.
Hmm.
And things that can fly in anime for anime fans do not necessarily translate to live action. Parts of this, if they are faithful, are going to look pornographic.
Here's the thing is, from what I can tell, it's not going to be especially faithful. Um, it seems like they are going way off the rails with the story, and like I said, people seem mad about
People
it.
people might be mad. I'm looking at the Twitter thread and people do seem mad.
Yeah.
I have never seen this Scorsese edit. Absolute ass before.
Yeah.
People are just posting images of the Dragon Ball Evolution poster.
Hmm.
So,
Uh-huh. It
as
seems dire
aficionados
out there.
of dog shit adaptations of anime into live
Uh-huh.
action, we should be excited. Um,
I mean, yeah, I want to see the live action Kaijis at some point. Can we watch that sometime?
I'm
There's
baffled that I
multiples of
looked at
those.
those and I saw the name fucking Michael Douglas
I know.
involved.
He's there. Anyhow,
Anyway,
this isn't about
do
that.
you want to watch an anime?
Yeah, you got a show for us, I think.
Because speaking of fucking Netflix,
Uh-oh.
if they're not going to advertise Moonrise, I will.
All right, let's fucking go.
We should watch Moonrise. Somebody
Let's
should fucking watch Moonrise. They bothered to make it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm here for it. Let's go.
All right. I already have the thesis statement for this episode. It goes wider than Moonrise. It goes wider. We have been taught by science fiction. Corporation wants to send you to the moon? Fuck them. Corporation wants to send you to a space colony? Fuck them. Corporation wants to send you to Mars? Fuck them. Space exploration can only be ethically achieved by socialism.
Oh.
The people of Earth cannot be trusted. Their souls are weighed down by gravity.
But hey, they're fighting for their moon dependence. That was stupid. Anyhow, do you got a blurb for us?
They must moonrise. You get it? Do you get it?
The moon is rising. The
Do you want to
moon
read this?
uprising. Yeah, I'll read the blurb. Ahem. In a not too distant future, humanity has established a loosely organized world government with everything managed by an international AI network called Sap- Sapient AI?
Sapienta.
Sapientia?
Sapienta. Sapienta.
Sapientia. People live
Sapienta.
People live peaceful lives by loyally obeying its rational decisions. However, Sapientia's lunar development project, which sends criminals and pollutants to the moon to maintain Earth's peace, creates disparity and poverty on the moon, sparking a catalyst for war. Jacob Jack Shadow gets caught up in this conflict after losing his family to a terrorist bombing by the moon's rebel army. Vowing revenge, Jack joins the Earth army as a scout on the moon, only to discover an unexpected leader among the resistance forces.
He joined the fucking Fetties.
I mean,
Sieg Zeon.
so many things I have so many things to say just about the blurb. They've created Moon Australia.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, the thesis statement is clear. Neuromancer, go to the space station. What's on the space station? Fucked up evil rich people.
Uh-huh.
Like, go to the moon. What's on the moon? Fucking prison colony.
Uh-huh.
Cyberpunk, prison colony moon.
Yeah. What did you fucking expect to happen? Also, I do not buy a future where people are living peaceful lives by loyally obeying the rational decisions of an overpowerful AI network.
Well, if you don't buy that, there's a place you can go, apparently.
To the moon with you!
Police knots, fucked up evil space colony, plus prison camp moon. Also, everybody has to get organ transplants all the time. It's a really fucked up story. Like underneath like the fucking Lethal Weapon imagery.
Uh-huh.
Kojima's a weird guy.
Also,
but
also, can we talk about the our main character Jack Shadow or whatever?
Jacob Jack Shadow.
His parents' organization was called the Shadow Corp.
Corp.
Like, hello? And we're, quote unquote, we're the good guys?
Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad guys? Wow.
Never trust a private corporation to send you to space. Fuck them.
We created the moon, the evil moon jail colony from the famous novel Don't Create the Evil Moon Jail Colony.
If Elon Musk in real life creates either a space station, moon colony, or Mars colony, I am going to become a space terrorist.
Yeah. Yeah. You heard it here, you heard it here first, folks. Anyhow, do we want to like have a rundown of this show?
So we owe it to the show because the show is good.
Yes.
So
we're shit talking right now, but there's a lot of good to be had here.
We're not necessarily shit talking. We are on the side of the moon. Let's put it that way. Our allegiance is to Luna. So yeah, we open on a shot of our beautiful moon with high-speed rail running through its canyons like golden thread on a car it's always a pod. It's never a fucking train. Just make it a train. Just make it a train,
you losers.
It's one pod. This is fucking inefficient. Make it a train. Elon Musk really did design this fucking space colony.
He's getting
but
heated.
Anyway, on this train we have a group of worn out soldiers. You would think it's difficult to tell their status because A, they are exhausted and clearly on the last of their resources, and B, they're all wearing badass cloaks, which is definitely like resistance fighter chic.
Yes. You can tell that they have been through it.
They have been through it. It's a quiet scene. They're all working on their individual tasks. Their tech expert is running the tram. She's got a billion holographic hacking things going on. Other people are checking their weapons. And over this, one of them is humming a tune. I can't hum the tune.
Yeah.
It was, for whatever reason, mixed kind of weirdly.
It
which
was.
is
Why did his voice sound like that?
which is a theme that we will be revisiting.
Yeah.
Of little scuff marks on something I quite like.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, the big guy interrupts our hero, because this is Jack. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Jack is
interrupts
the art
him while he's
bumpy guy.
humming,
Yeah.
and he says, what's that song?" And he says, "I don't know. I just heard it a lot whenever I was younger." And we get a very brief flashback of him as a child with a different child, and they're looking at a window at a vista of stars, suggesting that they may in fact be in space in this flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they are broken from this moment of peace by the fact that fucking scary ass blue Terminators are rolling up on them. These guys are fucking terrifying.
These guys are crazy
They
looking.
take they take like a theory that was sort of pioneered in the fucking Star Wars prequels. They didn't show them enough. The fighter pilots that are just the fighter jets that are just robots. Like there's no pilot
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
Because whenever they get on the ground, whenever they got to the ground, they just roll their wings over and start walking.
Uh-huh.
These are like those if those were blue skeletons. Because
Yeah.
they just rock up individually. There's no vehicle carrying them, and there's just a swarm of about 30 of them trying to break into this train car. We
One
get
of them succeeds, I think.
we get into an honestly really impressive and lengthy fight scene. I quite like it.
Yeah, it was a good action scene.
Uh, some of their I feel like their guns are a little plain, but whatever. But they fight these fucking skeleton robots, each
Those
with their own.
skeletons had scary robo fingers.
Oh yeah. One of them in an attempt to derail them, I think is trying to hack the train, and it spreads its fingers out like the fucking puppet master from Ghost in the Shell. Um, always something I love to see.
Uh-huh.
But and we find out the I guess the purpose of the cloaks, because they trail like spooky holographic light behind them, and when they move fast, and they go shwoom shwoosh, makes all kinds of noises
Uh-huh.
when
Uh-huh.
they dodge, and I'm just like, this is sick. This is pretty sick. We got a team of like weirdos with funky capes and interesting sidearms. Like his is like a shield that he can make change into different things. He changes it into a pistol at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
the big guy just has a gun for an arm, like Barrett FF7. By the
Yeah.
way, I'm going to keep coming back to this because not in genre, but and not in themes, but in vibes. This is Final Fantasy VII.
You know what? I could see that.
We got trains, we got big discs, we got bad corporations. I'm sure we'll
Crazy
have
in here.
environmentalism at some point.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, good fight sequence. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that's scuffing this is a little suspect CG, which
A
will be
little
coming
bit.
up again over the
It
course of
happens a
this.
few times. I can think
It,
of a couple moments that are
I
stand out to
think,
me.
like I said, scuffs on something I quite like. Some of these models are a little suspect, but the way they are used is quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, it's time to flash. It's time to flash back, because that was just the pre-roll. We get the intro, which is pretty nice. It's a very Gundam intro, which
Yeah.
I feel they're definitely taking cues from. It's
Yeah, I can
Gundam
see
with no
that.
mechs. Um, hence souls being weighed down by gravity, etc., etc. But yeah, they play that. It's pretty good. And we flash back to Jack on Earth. And it's clear that he's on Earth because it's blue skies and he's looking at a big fucking space elevator.
He's doing that thing that anime characters like to do where they stretch their hand out up to the
Out to
moon.
the
I feel
moon.
like I've seen this shot in like a few shows
A
before.
billion things.
Yeah.
It's a daytime moon, which I appreciate, and I
Yeah.
also appreciate the fact that the fucking infrastructure here, the gigantic infrastructure, that the Earth has used to enslave the fucking people of the moon, is visible.
The moon tube. This
Is
moon
visible
tube is
during the
crazy.
day.
Yeah.
As an enormous shadow, like a spoked wheel to the left of the moon, because it's a little closer.
Yeah.
Jack is living his playboy life. Somewhere around the beginning, there's a little flashback of something that happened to
I
Jack
think this happens
when he
here.
was young, which is
Yeah.
him and another boy are limping. They are trying to escape somewhere. He's been terribly injured in his shoulder, and they are trying to escape from a burning building. It looks like. And the other boy helps him to a pod of some kind and puts him in. And he says he's just says, "What's happening?" It's just like, I'm not sure if all of what they said was true, but the world we were living in was a lie. And he says over his shoulder to a character off screen, he says like, "Wiz, do it." And there's a gunshot, and he has a wound in his shoulder too. But he closes the lid of the pod, and that's the end of it. And he's just like, "Huh, I wonder what that shit was."
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Jack drives his terrible car to his Frank Lloyd
Yeah, this is
Frank Lloyd Wright house in the Hollywood Hills because they're just
this is one of the suspect CGI moments for me. I was
when
like,
it
what the fuck is wrong with
when it
that
stops
car?
moving, it looks good.
This is true. When it's moving, it's hard to look at. It's not good.
Because they're in LA. They're in the greenest LA I've ever seen. Japan has a surprising idea of what the countryside outside of LA looks like.
Listen, this is in a not too distant
They
future.
fixed the desertification of Southern California.
Yes, but we did enslave the moon, so that's bad. So that's bad.
On the radio we hear that it's Labor Day, which is interesting to hear, like a Japanese production talk about. Like it's just like, what? You know what Labor Day is? Nobody knows what Labor Day is. We barely know what Labor Day is anymore. Unions are nearly fucking illegal in this country sometimes.
Listen, it's a not too distant
too distant future where the fucking sentient AI has endorsed labor rights.
Yes.
I feel like that's unlikely.
Correct.
I mean, the only reason we're building AIs right now is so they can invent reasons to fire people.
Well, listen, no one said that they're actually doing anything for labor rights. They're just endorsing. They're just endorsing Labor Day.
But on Labor Day,
it's to make
they're going to have
happy.
a celebration because they've just completed like the 40th moon tube. It has a better name. I forget. But they've completed it. It's ready to hit the moon. These space elevators are super weird. They are not a physical tether because they would not work that way. As far as I can tell, they are
big towers that kind of go way up, and then I guess they just shoot you into one of these moon tubes.
Yeah, I think the moon tubes are like series of tubes, so they can be a little more loose because there's one around they're arranged all the way around the Earth in a ring. I am assuming lining up with the moon's orbit. So you just use a different one at a different time depending on where the fucking moon is.
Yeah, you just wait till the moon's there and then you get shot up there.
But yeah, they're gonna light up the latest one, the last one, I think. So yeah, when Jack gets home, he gets home to his ridiculous house. Where his friends are hanging out, fucking with their cars in his living room. It is the way they display how bougie people on Earth it's crazy. It's really believable and also stupid.
Yeah, like you look at this and like, yeah, this is a house in California. This could be a house in California right now for all I know.
I need you to take note of something I mentioned off the podcast the other day. Is one of the stupid cars they are working on is a fucking blue GT with 2 white stripes on it. Anime's favorite muscle car.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, there's a pretty funny scene here where he's talking with his bougie Earth friends, and I assume his girlfriend is trying to get his attention, but he keeps getting distracted, and he's just like, "Oh, hey, you must be Karen. He brought you by, right?" And she's just like, "Hello." He's just like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." It's just like, "Oh, Andre. Oh, you caught an ombol." And he's got like a Pokemon program on his phone. He's just like, "That's fucking sick,
Uh-huh.
dude." And finally, his girlfriend Reese finally has finally had enough, and she's just like, "We have to get the fuck out of here, man. I was told to bring you by force if necessary, and the fucking
Uh-huh.
boat's already left. I don't know what we're gonna do." And he just slows her down, and he's just like, "Oh, okay." And the next scene is they're in a fucking helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
They're helicoptering out to a fucking super yacht or a cruise ship. There's about a dozen of these circling a spot on the ocean where the most recent of these moon tube connectors has been built out on the water, which is a
Mm-hmm.
smart idea. If you're going to do this, you should put it out on the water uh, because of things that will happen later.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so yeah, they go out to this extremely bougie party. He's mentioned earlier. It's just like, oh, we're gonna have meatloaf tonight. They get there. We cut into a large auditorium where Shadow Corp is doing a
It's fucking
presentation
Shadow
where they
Corp.
tell us about the AI. They tell us about how it eliminated like poverty and hunger and war, which of course sounds great. That sounds great, but the kicker is going to be, well, we didn't eliminate it. We just sent it all to the fucking moon.
We just put it on the moon. It's not a problem up
It's not
there. Don't
a
worry about it.
surely they won't be mad. Um,
Uh,
and Shadow Corp got the contract to maintain the fucking moon tubes. I don't know if they built Copernicus City on the moon, which was talked about earlier, which is a proper city, but they do maintain the tethers, which is important business.
mhm.
Uh, I don't know if this is a public-private thing or if the fucking AI is a private being, which is even worse. Like,
Unclear. Very scary
yeah,
either
I
way.
want the Earth run by fucking Grok. Um,
Yeah.
but
uh,
to tell you the truth, I don't think this show is actually commentating on the kind of AI that our lives are being currently ruined by.
no.
They're talking about older science
No.
fiction AI,
Yeah, for sure.
which is almost nearly universally villainous. Um,
Yeah.
I wonder why Tech Bros didn't fucking learn anything. Um, but
Don't worry, the Torment Nexus is being built as we
don't
speak.
build the what was it? Don't build the Kazuna connection. But
Yeah.
but yeah, they're doing the presentation. An older woman is doing the presentation. Somebody, what's her name? His name is like Maria Shadow or something. It's Jack's mom,
Hmm.
and she wants to take a moment to introduce her son, who's going to be on the board as soon as he leaves high school. And when the spotlight comes on, he's not fucking there
Of
because
course
he is
he's
on
not.
the ship's. He is at the ship's casino. He is throwing craps. This is a great scene. These kids are
This
fucking
scene
vapid,
was hilarious.
but they're charming in a way. They're like so stupid.
They're stupid and like this scene is fun. You're just like, oh, you're
I'm gonna
terrible.
lose people on this, but these characters are fucking Franz and Albert from the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
dumb fucking bougie kids, but you still have affection for them
Yeah, you're just like, aw, you're not like
because
listen, you're just a
because they're
kid.
kids and they have like charm and they have charm and wit to them, even if
Uh-huh.
they're little fucking parasites. Um,
Uh-huh. Like, listen, you grew up on the shoulders of your parents'
um,
atrocities. Listen, you have time to grow.
they have a good time throwing craps. They tease their too serious friend who is there only because it is a charity event planned out by Sapienta. and he believes that it will benefit mankind, and that is why he has bothered to show up.
This uptight
He also
bodyguard. He's
gets
like,
very flustered because they sick one of their pretty girls on him.
they're just like, yeah, go
Blow
tease
some
this guy,
luck
and
into
she does. She goes over, and he just does like a big
blow
blushing
some luck
face. He's
into
like,
his ear.
it was cute, actually.
I actually quite like this character. We'll see about him later.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, he gets dragged out of there by Reese. Because
Yeah.
she's just like, why didn't you fucking show up? Come on. And she takes him outside. It's already become evening, and she's like, why are you like this? Like, I know you aren't like this, and I know you aren't the way people say you are. Because yeah, whenever the spotlight revealed he wasn't there, immediately there were just whispers. It was just like, oh, it's fucking idiot Nepo baby. Um, and he doesn't really give her a satisfactory answer, and it pisses her off. But not enough to, and she starts to storm off, but because she's a responsible girl, she immediately just comes back, and he's just like, "You make sure to give her that." And he's just like, "Oh yeah," and he reaches into his jacket, and he's got a little Christmas, we got a little birthday present, right? And he's just like, "Yeah, yeah," and he makes his way to clearly where his parents are staying on the ship because he runs into his dad. Uh, his parents are actually quite charming for
Yeah.
being corporate like freaks.
His dad reminds me of the cop from
A
Higurashi.
little bit. He's not as sinister as the cop from
Well, listen, the cop from Higurashi, I think his name Oishi or something like that.
He's a little. He's a bit of an asshole. He's a little freak.
Part of his problem is that he is stuck in Higurashi.
That's true.
But yeah, this guy is a lot nicer than that. This guy
got
is
a
just
nice
like,
brown suit.
oh yeah, we're gonna go have some of your mom's meatloaf. It's gonna be
neither
awesome.
Neither his mom or his dad look like him. By the way, they're a blonde couple. His dad is a big guy, and he's not. And yeah, he's just like, all right, you make it up to your mom. And we won't cut you slack for this, even if it isn't meatloaf night, because I know you only show up for meatloaf. They walk in there and it's just like, what do I smell? It's just like, it's meatloaf. Japanese got some of us Americans dead to rights. I do love a meatloaf.
It's just like, yeah. Whenever they make like a burger joke, I'm just
I am a burger slut. As Anthony fucking Bourdain said, I am just a low down trailer park burger slut.
yeah, you got us there, Japan.
Meatloaf is a little more divisive in America because nobody makes it the same way. So some people find it fucking revolting, but they're thinking of the meatloaf their parents made, which was trash garbage. Whereas the meatloaf my mom made was fucking incredible.
There you go. There you go.
This is clearly a meatloaf good household. And yeah, the mom has prepared a whole fucking spread of meatloaf. And also has apparently been day drinking since the presentation.
Oh,
she's great. Because she immediately comes around and just like, why weren't you at the presentation? Come on, you're making me look dumb. It's just like,
but I still love you.
It's just like I can't hold it against you though. How's it going with Reese? And he's just like, it's just like, don't, just like, if it was with you two could live in that house if you want. If it was with Reese, I wouldn't say anything. And he's like, oh God, Mom. It's just like, unless you haven't done it yet. My heart would break if you hadn't done it yet.
It's like, mother.
And his dad is just like, Jesus Christ, will you stop this? He's just like, come with me, and she's just like, just like, oh, you. It's like, stop that. The boy's still here. These two are genuinely charming, which is impressive given what they have to do to them.
Yeah. Like they have to make you feel something, right?
He doesn't give her the gift. And later he's outside again, leaning over the rails, looking at it. And Reese comes up to him and she's just like, you couldn't give it to her, huh? And he's just like, no, I think I can do it this year. And she's clearly like happy for him, which is nice. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was something
Mm-hmm.
between them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they mentioned that he was adopted, that he doesn't and they wondered if he didn't feel like he belonged or something. Like they want his trust. The next scene where uh they they start to fire it up. The next
I
important scene
think
is.
so. Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of filler stuff in there, but the next important scene is they are firing this thing
Yeah,
up.
so they've gathered everything. They've turned on the floodlights and they're about to fire this thing up. And everybody's just like, ooh, ah. A surge of energy comes down it. And at the same time, something weird happens to Jack. Because Jack gets
Mm-hmm.
taken away. He gets taken away from himself after a weird little prompt like appears in his eyesight. And you can't actually see what it says, but it's a yes no prompt. You can see because it's backwards. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets taken away to like the fucking time warp zone.
He gets
He
loaded into the
into
string
the fucking
dimension.
string matrix, and he's being approached from the other end by somebody who seems familiar, and that figure says Jack, is that true? That you? Are you really alive? I found you after all this time. I'm so glad. And the scene is almost romantic. Um,
Yeah,
like he comes
this
really close
guy.
to his face. Uh,
He almost like even like touches his
yeah,
chin.
he reaches out
Like I don't.
to touch him, and all Jack can say is Phil. Um,
Mm-hmm.
by the way, the American names on this anime shit very funny. We will hit the best one later. Um,
I know which one you're talking
um,
about.
but uh, but yeah, he comes to his friends. His friends are standing over him. They're just like, "Hey, Jack, are you okay?" Like you kind of
Mm-hmm.
like zoomed out, and you see the prompt again from behind, and you see one of the buttons get clicked, but it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's just like, yeah, I just had a strange like moment there, and he's like, yeah, you were really out of it. And as they're discussing this, all the floodlights go out at the same time. Click, bang, poof, gone, complete darkness.
Yep.
And
They zoom out on the Earth, and like this is happening in like a lot of places.
yeah,
I think.
all of the network is down, specifically for
Yeah.
these moon tubes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find this guy's name. Anyway, but
Which one are you
you
talking
know the
about?
one I'm talking about. They stand there in the darkness for a second. They're just like, "Is this part of the show?" And he's just like, "I don't think it's part of the show." And yeah, it zooms around. It goes to his parents, and his parents and Richard, his father is just like, is this how it's supposed to go, Mona? She's just like, no, there shouldn't be any way that a system wide blackout could happen like this. Uh, and
Mm-hmm.
when it cuts back to the group, you see sparks of like green up in the upper atmosphere start to coalesce,
Almost like
almost like
fireworks.
St. Elmo's fire or fireworks. Um, the crowd,
The people that are
people,
out there certainly think that this is
yeah,
part of the
people on the
show.
boats think this is part of the show. But Jack's friends just ask him, "It's like, hey, is this part of the thing?" And he's just like, "No, I don't think
He's
so."
like,
And he stares at him for a good long while. And he's just like, "We need to get out of here."
uh-huh.
um, and
Run.
yeah, his immediate instinct is to grab Reese and make a break for it. And his friends are just like, "Hey, where are you going?" And then they just go, "Well, maybe we ought to follow."
Yeah.
Because they're not necessarily stupid. um,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, because that was just the prelude to a surge of energy overloading the entire system and causing things to begin exploding.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big explosion action scene. It's very well done. They sell disaster pretty well. Every little explosion causes a small wave that ripples out and fucks up all the boats over
Mm-hmm.
again. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the group has congregated on the other side of the ship, Jack is trying to access something, but he can't get through to it, and he's just like, oh shit, where are my parents? And it's just like, where's your girlfriend? And then the real destruction starts because the wheels in the in low Earth orbit start to break up and fall into the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's fucking dire.
Yeah, as they're all looking down, trying to figure out how to get to this, the big guy from earlier looks up and sees the wheel coming down, and he's just like, "That's gonna come down on top of us. We are directly beneath it." And as smaller pieces of wreckage like fall down, it really sinks in for everybody. Everybody starts screaming. A large piece of metal smashes into the deck near them and knocks out one of their friends. And Jack says, "We're out of time. I will go and get everybody." And as he's running past, the big guy grabs him by the back of the jacket, and he says, "Well, hey, what gives?" And he says, "I'm sorry." And he anime punches him in the stomach and knocks him
Yeah.
him senseless.
You see this guy just chucking people into like a little.
Yeah, he chucks Reese and Jack into a room with a bulkhead, and he yells at the others to get him because he knows exactly what is about to come down on them in an act of what I assume to be self-sacrifice. Appreciate this guy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
We take a minute away from the destruction. Unfortunately, after seeing the windows get blown out of Jack's parents' apartment, and witnessing, unfortunately, another a piece of the armature that was holding the wheel up come directly down on top of their boat, while poor Jack watches through a porthole because he sees them through their broken window. They're not gonna make it. They have been incinerated.
No. Rip.
But after this, we climb all the way up the moon tube to the moon, to Copernicus City, where the celebration of the opening is happening, i.e., the large unlawful protest by thousands of people.
Get the fuck off our moon!
Who say, "Go the fuck home. The Allied military must leave."
This is our moon. You've got to get out of here.
The military riot cops stationed here are looking pensive, to say the least, as they're being
look so bored,
pelted by many rocks, and hearing about what just happened on Earth. And their demands for this unlawful assembly are cut short by a gigantic hologram of.
Holy shit!
I'm going to paraphrase. The devil of the moon, Bob Sawyer.
Bob Skylum.
Skylum? Is that his name?
I think that was his name.
The devil of the moon, Bob.
The devil of the moon, Bob.
This guy does have a bit of panache about him, though. Delivering your manifesto as a 300-foot tall hologram. Pretty cool.
Did he have like a sick cape?
He had a cape. He had a sick cape. And yeah, he
turned around slowly and he said, "Fuck the Earth."
He said, "Fuck the Earth. Fuck all you people down there." Now, the language he uses is quite interesting because, yeah, he lists his grievances as you would expect, that the people of the Earth have enslaved the people of the moon. They have sent nothing but waste and criminals to the moon. They have. I presume there is some sort of generational violence occurring. Anybody born on the moon is probably a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
And but what's interesting to me is that he always refers to it as Mother Earth, and he doesn't insist on moon superiority. He says we are on equal footing, and we will no longer be held under your yoke. But he does say Mother Earth, which is. Which I appreciate. It's one of the things that makes it difficult to get behind, say, Xeon and Gundam.
Right.
Because there are guys in Xeon who are just like, why don't we just kill everything on the Earth? It's just like,
yeah.
You're from there, dummy! But yeah, he delivers this address. We get a another shot of the character from earlier, Phil, I believe, not Phil, the one of the girl characters from earlier, from the very beginning,
Yeah, I
amongst the
don't know.
protesters. And then we cut back down to poor Jack watching the entire flotilla burn. And it's just like
He's
I
very
wonder if Jack will be radicalized by this act of political violence against against his
against
own
his.
parents.
Yeah, he might be a little scunched about it.
I think maybe he won't be able to be reasonable about the moon's freedom, given that it
Uh-huh.
fell on top of his parents, and then he had to listen to a
Yeah.
manifesto from a 300-foot tall
Uh-huh.
hologram while he was processing their deaths.
Mm-hmm.
And then the credits play.
Mm-hmm. And the
The
credits are
credits
fun
are fun
too.
too. The
Good
it
art.
started to hit me when I was watching the end credit sequence. I don't feel like they ever had a lot of money in this, but what they do have is a lot of talent.
Yeah, actually, I could see what you're
And I know
talking about.
I know a lot of famous people worked on this, and I can see where they took not enough money and made it work.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, you can tell by looking at this that like there's a lot of soul here.
Yeah,
You
there's a
know.
lot of soul here that says, "Fuck the earth, all my homies hate the earth." Moon forever.
Moon forever.
So what do you think? Will you watch more of this?
I think I would. I think I would watch more of this. I quite enjoyed it. The I guess you could call it a cliffhanger at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It did catch me. I was like, oh, I kind of want to know what
You
happens
kind of want to
next.
know what happens.
So
Why are these two connected like this? Like,
yeah, true.
what are the extents of the Earth's crimes? Is the AI real, or is it just people
Is
being bastards?
yeah, many such questions.
I'd watch more of this.
Yeah.
This definitely scratches some itches. It feels like it's got the same kind of tone as 79 Gundam, just
Mm-hmm.
without the mecha.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely interested in that. Anyway, if uh, if you have any political statements about outer space, you can tell us those at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. You can come to our horrible moon colony. Meet us on Europa. We are on Twitter. That's for no one,
War
man.
forever.
War forever. We are on Twitter. We are on Blue Sky. We are at One Episode Cast. Join us in the war
Gotta
forever.
lay off
Yeah.
the rations. War me recruits keep trying to cut me open to take shelter.